Hi, and welcome to your riding recovery practice. This under-hour session is perfect for your recovery days. It's going to allow you to balance overused muscles to create a strong and efficient posture, and it's also going to increase circulation in your joints and also in your muscles and in your spine. So I hope you enjoy. Hi, and welcome to your ride recovery day. This is going to be an under 60-minute practice, and we are going to start on the ground. If you have a towel, that's totally fine as well. If you have a mat, great. So wherever you are, come all the way onto your back. Come all the way onto your back. Extend your legs out and give yourself a nice big stretch. Allow your hands to come above your head. Interlace your fingers. Have your arms by your ears. Point your toes and stretch out your whole body. Start to breathe in and out through your nose and just feel your shoulders roll down your back. Maybe a slight arch in your back, just a normal arch. You can close your eyes. Just feel the length, especially through the lats, through the sides of the body, through the legs. Feel extremely extended. Again, setting your breath for the class, the session. And then move your hands over to the right-hand side and your feet over to the right-hand side. Funny enough, this is called banana pose. So you're just giving a nice stretch to the left side of your body. Again, breathing in and out through your nose. And then over to your other side. Bring your feet, your toes over to your left side and your hands over to your left side. Nice big stretch here. Your hands can be interlaced. It's a little bit easier to get a nice pull with the arm into the shoulder and the sides of the body if your hands are interlaced. Take another nice deep breath here. And then extend yourself back out. Interlace your fingers so your index finger and your index fingers touch. And nice big extension. Tone your lower belly. And then circle your hands all the way around to meet your hips. And then inhale your arms all the way up, just as you were standing, but point your toes all the way up. And exhale all the way down. Love this in the grass. Inhale all the way up. Hands above your head. And exhale all the way down. Again, you can feel that space in between your shoulders. And inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down. And then bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little rock on your sacrum. So this will release your lower back. Rock back and forth on your sacrum. Extend your left leg out. Pull your right knee into your chest. You can have your left leg to a hover and bring your nose to your knee. And then just switch it out. So just giving a little bit of love to the lower back. And just switch. A little tone to the core for your practice. And switch. Switch one more time. Bring your right knee to your chest. Lower your left leg and lower your torso to the ground. Bring your right knee over to your left hand side and extend your right arm out. Just a little bit of a twist to start with. You can look over your opposite shoulder, your right shoulder. Nice deep breath here. And then bring your right knee back into your chest and switch legs. Can extend your right leg, lay it on the ground, lay your torso back on the ground, bring your left knee into your chest. Nice compression on the left hip flexor. And then bring the left knee over to the right hand side and extend your right arm out. And the knee doesn't have to come all the way to the ground. And especially, I'm doing this obviously early in the morning. So it's nice to just give it a little bit of a stretch without pushing obviously too hard. During this practice, this is all about recovery. So please be really kind to your body. Bring your knee back into your chest. Bring both knees into your chest and then roll your knees in opposite directions. So nice big rotations with your knees. Knees in opposite directions. A couple more. And then the other direction. So the first time I was rolling out, this time I'm rolling in towards each other, getting a little lubrication on the hip joints, the hip flexors. Again, releasing the lower back and also creating some stability in the shoulders. Bring the knees back into your chest. And then rock up to seated. Rock all the way up to seated. Come to a nice, comfortable seated position. And if it's not crossing the legs, you can always come onto the knees. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. If your hips are tight, please feel free to really loosen your cross-legged stance so you can have your heels lined up. I feel that like that's a little bit easier. You can even sit on a block. Bring your hands to your knees and then roll your spine out. So getting into all aspects of your spine. So we're using this recovery session to balance the overused muscles and also to create a nice balance and a nice posture. And then come to the other side, nice big rotations. Breathing in and out through the nose. We're also establishing a nice breath with your practice. About 5 rotations one direction and 5 rotations the other direction. Extend your arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, place your palms up, and then twist just slightly over to your right hand side. So just elongating the spine. So a lot of the times when we ride, we're obviously have our hands forward and our spine rounded. So we're going to work on a lot of extension and also twist today. Come back to center and over to the other side. Take a nice deep breath. So throughout the practice, breathing in and out through your nose. Extend your arms back up. Release the grip and fold forward. So again, if your hips are tight, like all good athletes, be really kind here. Inhale, come up, place your hands on your knees. Nice long spine. Exhale, come forward. So it doesn't matter how far forward you come. If you just come on your fingertips, if you come on your forearms, if your base is all the way in your feet, that's totally fine too. Round all the way up. Bring your hands to your knees. Extend your arms back up to the sky. This time twist over to your right and place your left hand on your right knee. Look over your shoulder. So a little bit deeper twist. Inhale up and exhale to the other side. Inhale up and exhale right. Look over your right shoulder. Inhale up and exhale left. And come right back to your center. Extend your legs out in front. Extend your legs out in front and flex your feet. Lift your arms to the sky. So in order to protect your hamstrings, you can soften your knees or engage your quads. We're gonna start with nice soft knees. Exhale, fold forward, just as far as you'd like. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back, tone your lower belly. Exhale, fold forward. Soften your knees or engage your quads. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale, fold forward. This time, bend your knees so much and flex your feet so you can wrap your arms underneath your knees and bring your ribs to your quads. And if you still feel like you're pretty far away, that's fine as well. But see if you can get your ribs as close to your quads as you can so you have a nice support to elongate your spine. So we're working on supporting the lower back as well because that tends to get tight. Take another nice deep breath here. And then if you want, you can move your heels a little further forward. So big protection with this whole practice through the hamstrings. Always bend your knees to protect your hamstrings or engage your quads. You can even have your hands come forward if you'd like. At this point, take another nice deep breath. And if yours looks nothing like mine, that's totally cool. You might be up here, totally fine. But just see if you can get as close as you can with your ribs. Another breath. Come all the way back up. And then take one rock up to standing. So a rock, and then you can press up into a squat and lift your arms all the way up to the sky. Lower your hands to heart center. Bring your toes together and your heels slightly apart. Inhale, raise your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. This time engage your legs, engage your quads, or soften your knees. Look down towards your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back, look forward. Exhale, fold. You can soften your knees again. And then soften your knees and roll all the way up to standing. Extend your arms all the way to the sky. Lower your hands to heart center. So a nice slow half sun salutation. Inhale, raise your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way forward, which seems very fitting right now. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back forward, soften the knees, roll all the way up to standing. Extend your arms all the way to the sky. Lower your hands to heart center. One more time, engage your quads. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward, open your heart and your chest. Inhale, halfway lift, engage your quads, tone your lower belly, look forward. Exhale, fold back forward, bend your knees. This time, bend your knees so much again so your ribs touch your quads. Allow your head to hang heavy. And you can have your hands on the ground. And again, if you're not quite touching the ground and you're somewhere up here, that's totally fine as well. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Take a few more breaths. Just let all the blood rush down to the head, down the spine. And then bend your knees, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Extend your arms all the way up to the sky. Lower your hands to heart center. Inhale, raise your arms all the way up. Exhale, this time, keep standing up, but bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and open up your heart and your chest. Engage your quads. And if you feel a little bit imbalanced this way, or out of balance this way, you can always bring your feet about hip width apart. Open up your heart and your chest, look up. Tone your lower belly, so you're still creating a nice stabilization with your core. Another breath here. Inhale, raise your arms all the way to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Engage your quads. Exhale, fold back forward, bend your knees. This time, interlace your hands behind your back. Open up your heart and your chest. And if you'd like, you can place your ribs, again, on your quads and allow your hands to come forward. So the trick here is to roll your shoulder blades back so your hands come back, and then slowly bring your hands forward. And this will allow some circulation in between the rhomboids, in between the shoulder blades. And this tends to get super tight on a lot of riders because of always coming over the bars with the hands and the different positions that we get in here there. Take another nice deep breath. Release your hands to the ground. Straighten your legs as best you can. Engage your quads so your kneecaps come up. Again, this might look a little higher, or for some of you, it might look a little lower. Take another nice deep breath. Bend your knees. Place your hands on the ground. Step back into your high plank. Engage your core here. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Child's pose. Bring your knees apart and your toes together. If this isn't awesome on your knees, you can always come up here a little bit and come onto your forearms. Otherwise, come back onto your heels, and your knees are just wide enough that your ribs will set on them. Your hands are forward. This is an amazing traction on your back. Bring your hands forward and your tailbone back. So that's energetically what we're doing here. Creating traction, also creating length. The sides of the body, the lats. This is an amazing resting pose. Take a few more breaths here. If at any point you'd like to just rest and relax during your practice today, because this is your recovery day, please feel free to come down into this position. And then scoot your hands over to your right hand side, just off the mat, giving your side body, your left side body, a nice big stretch. I like to come right up onto my fingertips So my palms are off the ground. And then over to the left-hand side, so this, you might be able to see this a little better. Fingertips on the ground, palms off the ground, nice big stretch in the right side of the body. Also a little bit of compression on the left side of my torso, and this helps all the internal organs, just giving them a little bit of a massage. Come back to the center. Move your hands so they're just right underneath your shoulders. Move your knees so they're right underneath your hips. And you should be able to look back, and you shouldn't be able to see your feet. So your heels should be straight up. Another thing that happens a lot, since we're working on posture and effective and efficient movements, is this little position here called sickling. And I was doing this for years before I even realized it. So if you look back and your feet are kind of flopped over to the side, make sure your heels are straight up. This will strengthen your legs, and it'll also strengthen your calves and your ankles. It's amazing. It's amazing what little positions will make a huge difference. Place your palms on the ground. Press into your fingertips and press into your palms, and then have your tailbone come back and the crown of your head come forward. So you've got a nice, strong foundation here, and you can pretty much do anything from the foundation, and this is the core of your practice. Take another nice deep breath. Again, press into the palms, press into your fingertips. Roll your shoulder blades down your back. So there's no rounding in the spine at all. It's nice and flat. From this position, come into 5 cat and cows. Exhale, arch your spine, look towards your belly. Inhale, look up, crown of your head comes up, tailbone comes up. Exhale, round your spine, look towards your belly, and really make space in between your shoulder blades. Inhale, look up, crown of your head comes up. Exhale, round your spine, look towards your belly. Really nice to integrate breath into this movement because you can suck in your belly. Inhale, look up, shoulder blades come together, tailbone comes up. Exhale, round your spine, look towards your belly. Inhale, look up, crown of your head comes up, tailbone, belly comes down. Come right back to your center, and then just nice little rolls. So we do this in a lot of sessions because it's extremely important for the health of your spine and also the health of your back. It also gets into your internal organs, and you can get into your hips as well. So come all the way forward, take a couple revolutions small, and then come all the way forward and all the way back almost through your child's pose. So your hips dip over to your right ankle and your left ankle, and then come up. And then you can come to the other side. So nice revolutions in the other direction. Getting into the internal organs, the digestive system, and then come all the way through. And as athletes, definitely getting into the digestive system is a core component of recovery days. You want to be eating a lot of good proteins, and you also want to be taking care of your system. And then nice big rotation this way. And then come back to center. Bring your knees back a little further. Bring your knees together and your toes together, and come down onto your belly. Roll your shoulder blades back and down, and your hands should end up just a couple inches lower than your shoulders. Your elbows come right into the sides of your body. Again, before you pick up, you can have your head on the ground, or you can have it up just slightly. Roll your shoulder blades back and down, and come up a little. Press your pubic bone down into the ground and have your toes together and your toenails on the ground. Engage your quads so your kneecaps rise. You can just lift your chest. So this is going to be great for strengthening the back. If at all you ever feel pinching, please come down just a little bit further, or to support your lower back, depending on how much training you have been doing and you really want to support your lower back, you can have your feet out as wide as the mat, and that'll allow just a little dissipation of pressure in your lower back. Roll your shoulder blades back and down, and then come up a little further. Again, pressing your pubic bone down into the ground. You can even tone your lower belly by bringing your belly button into your spine. And you see how my shoulder blades are down. It's not that effective to come up here. Increases stress. So again, roll down, have the heart nice and open. Come all the way down. Again, toes together, her feet apart. Roll your shoulder blades back and down, up into cobra. And just a few times back and down. Down to the ground, touch your chin, roll your shoulder blades back and down, and come up just as far as you'd like. Each time you can get a little higher or not. And back down. And then come all the way up. Come onto your knees. Bring your knees about as wide, a little bit wider than your hips. So if you sit back in child's pose, your ribs touch your quads. Move your hands forward. So come into child's pose. Bring your forehead to the ground. Take another breath here. And this one I love for hip flexors. Come forward with your torso. Your shoulders come over your wrists. Come a little further forward so you have a nice straight spine from the crown of your head to your knees. Then pick up your toes off the ground, and you can dip your belly and look up just slightly. So if this feels good on your hip flexors and your back, you can go a little further. Like you could energetically touch the crown of your head to your toes. And then pull in your belly, pull in your core, and then come back into child's pose. So again, any variation of this goes. Come forward. Nice strong spine. Can feel the energy of your core. And then dip your belly, tone your lower belly, look up, a little bit of an arch, and then come back. Pull in your belly, sit back into child's pose. One more time, come forward with your torso, shoulders line up with your wrists. Then the crown of your head shifts forward a little bit more. Belly comes down, toes come up. Again, open your heart and your chest like you're trying to reach the top of your head to your toes. And then come all the way back. Child's pose. Come back into your child's pose and just allow yourself to release and relax here. Take another nice deep breath. Anytime you have your forehead touching the ground, it initiates a relaxation response in the parasympathetic nervous system. Press your hands back into the ground, lift your hips up, curl your toes under, come into your downward dog. Your hands are as wide as the mat. Your fingertips touch the sides of the mat, and your feet come to about hip width apart, maybe a little bit narrower. And you can bend one knee, bend your other knee. We have warmed up the hamstrings just slightly, so be nice to your hamstrings. If you ever have any SI joint issues or anything like that, use symmetry. So bend both knees at the same time and then straighten your legs. Bend both knees at the same time and straighten your legs. And one last one, bend both knees at the same time, straighten your legs. And then if you'd like, you can walk it out. Bend one heel or bend one knee, bend the other knee, back and forth from side to side. Come back down onto your knees. Bring the heels of your hands in. Come back into your foundation, your place on all fours. Look towards the front, maybe about a couple feet in front of your mat. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Extend your right leg back. So no arch, just the crown of your head reaching forward. Point your back toe, your right toe, back and just establish a balance. Take another nice deep breath. And then extend your right leg behind your left. And then shift your shoulders over to your left-hand side. And you can reach your left arm over. You can reach your left arm over, and you can even, if you'd like, reach your right ear to the ground. And reach your left hand over towards your foot. This is a great one just for the IT band, a little bit of a hip stretch. Breathe in and out through your nose. Take another breath here. And then come all the way back up. Come back onto all fours. And then the other side. Extend your left leg up. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Establish that foundation, the top of your foot on the ground. Nice deep breath. And then extend your left leg over to your right hand side. Shift your shoulders over to your right hand side. Bring your right hand over and your left ear to the ground. Breathe in and out through your nose. Again, your hips are facing forward and you're just creating this nice curve in the left side of your body and almost compressing the right side of your body. And then come back up to neutral Bring your knees just underneath your hips. Hands just underneath your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath here. And then extend your right leg back to the toes. Reach your heel back. Nice big stretch throughout the heel. And then thread your right arm through underneath your left and come onto your shoulder. So a little bit different than what you might be used to. So we're establishing balance. We're also getting a nice calf stretch here and twist. Bring your knee back to the ground and then extend your left leg out. You should be able to feel like you're twisting open just a little bit more, and you can extend your left arm to the sky. Another breath here. Again, option is to have both knees on the ground. Increases the twist actually. And then set your hand back down. Get yourself back into your table. Take a nice deep breath here. And extend your left leg out so you can feel the stretch from the hip flexor all the way down to your heel, into your calf. Establish your balance here. Make sure the top of your right foot's on the ground and thread your left arm through. Come onto your shoulder, onto your ear. Lower your left knee to the ground. Extend your right leg out and then lift your right arm to the sky. Again, if you bring both knees to the ground, it does increase the twist in your spine. So whichever way you'd like. Another nice deep breath. Bring your knee down, come back into your table. Give your hips a little swing from side to side. Curl your toes under, come into your downward dog. Nice big stretch in your downward dog. This time bring your toes together and your heels together. And again, you can have a nice soft bend. More importantly here is to have a nice straight flat back and tone your lower belly. Even look towards your belly. Take another breath here. Raise your right leg up straight and strong behind you. Look towards your hands. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. And if you have to do it manually, that's cool too. Just make sure your knee is right over your ankle. Drop your back knee. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky. Interlace your fingers, place your hands on your front thigh, and come forward just slightly. So you still want to tone your lower belly and make sure that when you're coming forward, you have no weight on your knee. So we want to really protect the knee, but we also want to get just a slight stretch into our Achilles and our calf here. Again, your left toes are curled under, and you can come forward. And then if you'd like, you can rest your right elbow on your right knee, and you can lift up your left toes and grab it with your left hand. So just a nice little quadricep stretch. We're also getting into the hip flexor, which gets a little bit worked from riding. So just balancing those overused muscles. Take another nice deep breath. And again, this is the one thing that you'll find out if you're hydrated or not, is the hamstring tends to cramp really easily here, so be really nice. And if it feels like that's gonna cramp, just have your leg come down. Take another nice deep breath. All about balancing. Bring your hands to the center, or bring your hands to the left-hand side of your right foot, and scoot your right foot out to the outside of your mat, just so you have a lot of space in here. So we're compressing the right hip flexor, and then we're also creating length in the left hip flexor. When we compress hip flexors, we're creating a tourniquet effect, and that'll also allow, when we release, allow a lot of fresh blood to come into that space. If it feels good here, feel free to stay here, or you can come down a little lower. And your knee is right over your ankle. Take another nice deep breath. And then scoot your hands so they frame your front foot. You can curl your back toes under and then straighten out your front leg as best you can. And if that's like this, totally cool. Otherwise, you can come to straight and you have your hands somewhere by your shin. or your hips, and then bend into your front knee and straighten your front leg. Bend into your front knee and straighten your front leg. And again, bend into your front knee and straighten your front leg. Come back onto the bottom of your foot and place your hands back down on the ground. Raise your left knee off the ground and step back into your high plank. Take another nice deep breath here. Sort yourself out. Nice long spine, engage your core, crown of your head coming forward, and then tilt your hips back up to the sky, downward dog. Place your toes together, your hands are wide still, nice flat back, so straighten out your legs or maybe a soft bend in your knees. Protect your hamstrings, extend your left leg to the sky. Look towards your hands, step your foot forward in between your hands. Again, if it doesn't come that far forward, move it so your knee is right over your ankle, drop your back knee. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky, find your balance. Interlace your fingers, place them on your left quad, and then come slightly forward. So now we're creating a lot of length and circulation in our right hip flexor. And just a little bit of a calf and Achilles stretch. Again, if you want to come onto your forearm, please feel free. While you're doing this, so I'm just going to show you. If I'm not toning my lower belly, this is kind of dumping into the hip flexor, and this is not good. So what you want to do is you want to tone your lower belly in this position so you come forward strong. And so this position is a lot stronger for your lower back. So the tailbone comes down, lower belly's toned, and you come forward. So not kind of dumping into your hip flexor. And here, if you'd like, again, you can come onto your left elbow and reach around. Again, be careful of your hamstring. And you can bring your heel in as close as you'd like, just to give your quadricep a little bit of a stretch and look forward. Again, shoulders down, away from your ears. This whole practice, very calming, breathing in and out through your nose the entire time. So really promoting a nice recovery, a nice balance. Another breath here. Drop your foot. Bring your hands so they're in the inside, on the right-hand side of your left foot, and scoot your left foot out to the side. And if you'd like, you can stay up here depending on how tight your hip flexors are. And if you'd like, you can come down onto your forearms, or if you have a little block or somewhere in between. So again, we're creating this huge compression in the left hip flexor. The left knee is right over the left ankle. Your left ankle. Take another nice deep breath. Come back up onto your hands. Move your foot so it's on the inside, or your hands are framing your front foot. And then scoot your hands back and straighten your front leg. And again, we're going with movement here. Bend your front knee and straighten your front leg. So we're just creating a little bit, not necessarily too much length, but a little bit more circulation in your hip flexors. And straighten your front leg, come back, and bend your front knee. And you can see I'm not really straining here to come all the way down and really get into my hamstrings. I'm just more moving. I'm more concentrating actually on my right hip flexor. And then press your palms into the ground, come back into your lunge, curl your back toes under, come back off your back knee, step your foot back into your high plank. Again, usually when you get back into high plank, you've got this round situation between your shoulder blades. Flatten that, look forward. Tone your lower belly. That makes it just a little bit harder, but we always want to retain that nice strong core, whatever practice we're doing, our foundation. And then tilt your hips up to the sky, downward dog. You can have your toes together this time and just slight bend in your knees, nice soft bend in your knees. Breathe in and out through your nose. Slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. Bring your toes together, your heels slightly apart. And when I say that, this is really important for your foundation. Your second toe should be right in line with your heels. So you don't want this kind of like big space in between your heels. You actually want just probably about an inch. Your toes are together, your big toes reach right back to your heels. So we're all about the foundation and efficiency and posture as well. Bend your knees, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Lift your arms all the way to the sky. Lower your hands to heart center. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Engage your quads. Your tailbone comes down. You don't want your tailbone to tuck. In the intro, we talked a lot about having a nice neutral position, a nice neutral pelvis. So we're trying to create that perfect posture in mountain pose, in our foundational pose. Bring your hands to heart center. This allows your shoulder blades to roll back and down. And just close your eyes and have the crown of your head come up and just feel how it is to stand on both feet, equally balanced. Bring your toes up. That helps us engage or lift the arches of the feet. It also tones your legs, but it doesn't engage your glutes too much. Sides of the body are long. You roll your shoulder blades back and down, and you can feel that strength, that foundation, that coming back into balance after whatever sport you do. And you can bring your toes down. Inhale, raise your arms all the way to the sky, look up. Exhale, swan dive, fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hamstring should be warmed up by now. You can almost tilt your tailbone back. In this pose too, you want an inward rotation of your thighs so the tailbone comes back and it's not rounded here. So it's a big difference. You can even grab onto your quads for this one. Engage your quads and have your quads roll back. This is extremely important, especially for the rounding of the spine when we're on our bike. And then come back down. You can bend your knees slightly and then roll all the way up to standing. Lift your arms all the way into the sky. Lower your hands to heart center. Bring your feet so they're hip width apart. Inhale, raise your arms all the way to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, inward rotation of your thighs, engage your quads. Exhale, fold back forward, slightly bend your knees, interlace your fingers behind your back again like we did at the beginning of the session, and pull your hands or pull your elbows so they're straight and your hands come back by your sacrum. And you can rest your ribs against your quads again and bend your knees. And then bring your hands forward and see if this feels any better than when we started. Creating that circulation, pressing the ends of the muscle together between the shoulder blades just to enhance circulation there. Take another nice deep breath. Opening up the heart and the chest. Lower your hands to the ground, press your palms into the ground, spread your fingers wide, step back into your high plank. Lower all the way down into your belly, into your cobra. Roll your shoulder blades back and down, elbows come back, lift your heart and your chest. Come through your knees, downward dog. Bring your toes together, your heels together, or your heels almost together, and bend your knees slightly if your hamstrings still are feeling a little tight. Lift your right leg up. This time flex your foot and reach it back. Look towards your hands and step your foot forward in between your hands. Prop yourself up onto your fingertips and point and flex your left leg or your left ankle, or your left toes, I should say. Come back and forth. And then keep your left knee off the ground. And you're going to bring your left leg in just slightly and bring your heel to the ground. Lift your arms up into the sky and just a really soft warrior one. Bend into your front knee. Your back leg is straight and your foot is at a 45-degree angle. I have a really short stance here because I want both of my hips facing forward. So in the recovery sequence, we're all about posture. We're less about strength, more about alignment. You can bring your hands to your hips and you can extend your arms forward and then roll your shoulder blades back on your back and extend your arms up. Nice, strong, straight arms. And then just for a breath, open up your hips into warrior two. So you're going to slide your back foot back. So your back foot's almost parallel with the back of the mat. Extend your arms out so they're parallel with the ground. bend into your front knee. So we're creating a nice open hip stance. And you can bring your hands down. Bring your right hand to your right knee and make sure the knee is tracking over your toes. Bring your right arm out, look over your middle finger. Straighten your front leg, hinge forward into Trikonasana. Bring your right hand down and bring your left arm up to the sky. Look up towards your top hand, just a breath. Engage both of your legs, heels pull towards each other. And then roll all the way down, nice and soft. Come onto your hands, step back into high plank. Shift the crown of your head forward, lower all the way down into your belly, tops of your feet come to the ground, roll your shoulder blades back. Cobra, knees down, hips up, downward dog. Lift your left leg up, flex your foot. Nice, strong, straight spine. Look towards your hands, use your core, pull your foot forward in between your hands. Point and flex your right foot, your toes, back and forth. So we're getting into our calves, ankles, glutes a little bit here. Another nice deep breath. And then make sure your knee is right over your ankle here, and then slide your back foot in. It's about a 3.5 foot stance. 45-degree angle on your back foot, hips are facing forward. So my left hip comes back just slightly as I come up. Again, more about form, less about power here. Both hips facing forward. You can extend your arms to the sky, just find this balance here. Knee is right over your ankle, not further forward. Extend your arms out straight and roll your shoulder blades back and down, tone your lower belly, and then extend your arms to the sky. Nice, strong, straight back leg. Nice breath in and out through the nose. And then open up into warrior two. Slide your foot back. Your back foot's almost parallel with the back of the mat, maybe a little bit of an angle just to protect your back knee. Bend into your front knee. So you can bring your back hand down, your right hand down. And your left knee is gonna come towards your toes, but your knee is still right over your ankle. So we're just working on a little bit of glute here, and then also knee tracking. Extend your left arm forward. In warrior two, you always look over your middle finger with your gaze. If you'd like, you can extend your back arm back. And then bring your right hand down to your hip, straighten your front leg, engage both of your quads, pull your heels towards each other, hinge forward so sides of your body are long. And then lower your hand, and the first time you do this, lower your hand just below your knee, because you want the sides of the body long. If you come down too far and your hips come down towards the ground, it's not going to be as effective. So you want to have a nice long spine and extend your right arm to the sky. Find your balance. And if you'd like, you can look down at your bottom foot or look up at your top hand. And again, as you get just a little bit more in tune with this posture, you can really find how far down you can put your hand. It's almost like your back's against a wall. There's a slight movement forward with this hip, but not too much. Again, sides of the body are long. Engaging quads. Come all the way down, place your hands down around your foot. Step back into high plank. Shift the crown of your head forward. This allows your elbows to come down by your sides, more like a tricep push-up. Roll your shoulder blades back and down and open your heart and your chest. So good for pec major and minor. Come through your knees, curl your toes, downward dog. Breathe in and out through your nose. Take a few more breaths here. And then come down onto your knees. Bring the tops of your feet, actually curl your toes under. And then sit up on your knees. So coming in and just allowing a little bit of stretch. We don't want to increase flexibility, but we do want to give our hip flexors a little bit of a break. Roll your shoulder blades back and down and bring your right hand back to your heel. As you see, my hips are still right over my knees. Extend your left arm straight up. Look up. And if this is too much, you can always have your hand or your fist right by your sacrum and then just lift your left arm up. And then switch. Bring your left hand back to your heel. Again, hips are right over your knees. Extend your right arm to the sky. Look up. And then switch. Bring your right hand down and your left arm up. And this time again, we're not kind of crunching the lower back as much as we're elongating up and then toning the lower belly. So the lower belly is still nice and strong and the left arm's up. And switch, right arm up, look up. And then come back forward, bring your hands back forward, bring your knees apart, your toes together, and then come all the way down and allow your forehead to come onto the ground. Breathe in and out through your nose. Child's pose. Five more breaths here. You can always, every time we come into child's pose, please feel free to come into downward dog if that feels a little bit better for you at this point. And then if you are in downward dog, come into child's pose. Bring your palms together in front of your space, and then bring your hands so they're back, they come back behind the nape of your neck. And then scoot your elbows forward so you can get a nice stretch in the triceps and the lats. Again, reach your hips back towards your heels. And even if this isn't awesome on your knees, you can be up here and you can still get a nice stretch if your hips are still up. The other thing is if you have sensitive knees, you can always put a blanket just right underneath your knees as well. And then bring your palms together. Come onto your forearms. And just one nice little dolphin before we come into some other grounding stretches. But shift your hips up to the sky and come into downward dog, but you're on your forearms. So this gives a nice stretch in between the shoulders as well. Sometimes this is a little bit intense. You can always start on your knees, or again, you can curl your toes under. And again, you can bend your knees so you have a nice straight line from your elbows all the way to your tailbone. Huge stretch in the shoulders. And then shift forward, come onto your knees. Bring the palms of your hands to the ground. Come into your table. Take a nice deep breath here. Curl your toes under and reach your hips up to the sky, downward dog. Move your left foot to the midline of your mat and bring your right foot to the sky, straight and strong. You can flex your foot. Look towards your hands. Bring your right knee towards your right wrist. So pigeon, right knee towards your right wrist. And I want this to be really comfortable for you today. So have your heel come pretty far in. If you have pretty flexible hips, it can come out to a little bit more of an angle, but we're working just with establishing a nice balance and a nice relaxation practice. So come onto your hips. Both hips should be facing towards the ground. And then your foot should be right in the middle of your mat, your heel straight up. You can bring your hands up, and then if you can balance, usually you're in the right position. And again, no pain in yoga. So come forward, just a little bit of a stretch. This is a pose of surrender. You can bring your forehead to the ground or make a pillow with your hands. And just allow yourself to release and relax here. Your torso is on the inside or the left-hand side of your right knee. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. Just opening up the hips just slightly. Again, this is great for the left hip flexor and the left glute. One more breath here. And lift up. So we don't necessarily want to increase the flexibility in any of these joints. We just want to increase or establish a nice mobility after we've overused the muscles. Curl your back toes under and you can come back into your downward dog. And then move your left or your right foot to the middle of your mat. Extend your left leg up. Flex your foot. And then come forward into pigeon. Bring your knee towards your wrist. Again, your heel comes all the way in. Your toe is pointed. And then you can come onto your hip. And just release and relax here. You can find your position. Again, remember that sickling with your back foot. Make sure your heel's straight up. If you feel like you're in the right place, come forward. Allow your forehead to come down onto the ground. Your torso is on the inside of your leg. Breathe in and out through your nose. And just settle into this. And then if it feels like it feels better to kind of come back and forth with your hips, please feel free. This is also a great glute stretch and piriformis stretch, which we get a lot of use for when we're riding. On the next inhale, lift your torso back up and then slide your right leg all the way forward. Another little hip flexor stretch. Bring your feet so they're hip width apart and bring your heels so they're just slightly away from your hips. Make sure your toes are pointed forward. Extend your arms out straight in front of you and round your spine all the way down into the ground. Bring your heels in so they're just a little bit closer to your hips. Your knees are straight up. Again, you don't want your toes pointing out. If anything, you want your heels out like a half of an inch. Bring your hands down to your side and roll your shoulder blades so they're underneath each other. And then see how I've got this nice big arch in my back? I'm already starting with the arch. And then bring your hips all the way to the sky or as far as you'd like. So this is a great hip flexor stretch. You can interlace your fingers underneath your back and even roll your shoulder blades closer together, just opening up your heart and your chest. 2 breaths here. And as you roll down, bring your hands down, palms up, and then you can roll all the way down, and then the tailbone comes down first and the back comes down. And I should note is anytime you have your hips into the sky, you want to make sure that you don't look from side to side, that you actually look straight up because you want to be really kind to the cervical vertebrae. So one more time into bridge. Lift your hips up to the sky. If you'd like, interlace your fingers, bring your shoulder blades a little closer together, have your heels out just barely, your toes pointed forward, a little bit of engagement in the glutes, you're pressing through your heels. Nice deep breath here, you can feel it in your chest. Release your hands, lower yourself all the way to the ground. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a little bit of love here. Extend your arms out to the side, palms facing down. And bring your knees over. You can press your feet into the ground and move your hips over to the left-hand side. And then bring your knees over to the right and look over your left shoulder. Nice big twist to finish your practice. Bring your knees back up, press into your heels, bring your hips over to the right-hand side, toss your knees to the left, look to the right. Breathe in and out through your nose. Take another nice deep breath here. And bring your knees back up to your chest. You can press into your feet so you're all organized with your spine and your spine is nice and long. Bring your knees into your chest and relieve your lower back. Core sequence is amazing for the lower back. We also worked a little bit on your hamstrings, creating a suppleness in your hamstrings will release any pressure in your lower back as well. We did a lot of twisting, invigorated the spine, balanced the body. And the most essential part of your recovery practice, especially today, is your Shavasana. Bring your feet so they're about hip width apart. Have your feet toss out to the side or just come out to the side. Bring your hands by your side, your palms facing up. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other so you create a little bit of space in the lower back. So you have a nice curve underneath your neck and a nice curve underneath your lower back. So nice and neutral. Allow the breath to come all throughout your torso. This is the most essential part of your practice. This is the part that will affect your whole yoga practice the most. It actually is a time for your body to relax and restore from all the twists and all the poses that we've done to create length or to create flexibility and to create circulation. Allows your body to come back into balance. They say that after a nice yoga practice, like we just did, Shavasana, an attentive awareness, while being completely calm and connecting with the body, can equal 2 to 3 hours of deep sleep. So 10 to 15 minutes of Shavasana. If you can do that today, please feel free just to connect with your body and just allow yourself to release and relax. Allow the whole body to ground into whatever space you're in. You always want to finish your yoga practice. This also reduces cortisol levels, which will help your fat burning process during the whole day. Stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, just allowing everything to release and relax. And if you'd like, you can even do a body scan. Allow your toes to relax. Allow your ankles to be soft, your calves and your quads to relax. Allow your belly to relax. Shoulders to be soft, jaw to be soft, skin around your eyes to relax. Stay here for as long as you'd like, at least 5 more breaths. And then when you're ready, you can bring your knees into your chest. You can roll over into your right-hand side. Rolling over onto your right-hand side allows the heart a little bit of a break, and it also gives you a little bit more energy for the day. You can roll up to a comfortable seated position. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. You can come to a cross-legged position or just to your knees and just close your practice. Bring your hands to heart center. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Feel a little bit longer, taller, more circulation in your body, more calmness in your mind, more balance. I hope you enjoyed your recovery practice. Happy trails.